All right, we are back for another episode of Totten Talks.
Here we
And this
go.
this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart because I know we're going to start at the very beginning, but I'll share my little story first to explain why this is so cool. We've shared that you and I met at a weightlifting meet when we first met, but you became my coach at a weightlifting camp. I can't remember if it was 2011 or 2012, but it was the first summer camp I went to, and it was at Millersville University.
Yep.
I think it was the last year we held it at Millersville,
Possibly. Yeah.
because then the next year I went to camp, it was at Malvern. And ironically, I now live like 30 minutes from Millersville, and when I came down for camp, I was commuting down from New York. So, yeah, weightlifting camp is just pretty special, and it's got a really cool history. And I know we see a lot of people out there doing camps now, but I'm going to tell y'all right now, nothing beats what we have and what we've set up over the years because of how long Leo has been running these camps and the fact that they have evolved because of all of the data he's been collecting over 40 years of running camps almost. Because
Well,
let's go back to the beginning. When was the
1984
first one?
to 25. How many years was
41
that?
years. You have
There
been
you
running
go.
weightlifting camps for 40. So camps predated the start of East Coast Gold weightlifting team.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
we'll go into that history and
Yeah.
and where all the things that we've gone through to get to this point. Um, Back in the day, my last competitive competition was the Olympic trials in 1984. Okay.
Yes.
And
Yep.
did not make the team as a weightlifter.
Right.
But at the time, Harvey Newton was
Yep.
I guess the position was president of USA Weightlifting,
Okay.
or CEO. I forget what he was.
What the
But
title was
anyway,
at that point. Yeah.
he contacted me and said he would like to see a weightlifting camp run at York Barbell and to assist Dick Smitty Smith. Those of you
Yep.
who've been around for a while know that name.
If you don't know these names, please look them up. They are like integral to weightlifting history.
Learn the history.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can learn a lot and you grow from that. So anyway,
So, and
but
wait, let's
Harvey,
tell people why York Barbell is so important in
well,
the
York
weightlifting history
Barbell, oh
world.
my God, they were the Muscletown USA. They
That's
were
it.
the mecca of USA weightlifting back in the
For a
day.
long time. The
Bob
Hall of Fame was
Hoffman,
there.
the whole crew. Bob Hoffman was they were one of the reasons why I really got into lifting
Yeah.
because I got my first set of weights there. I think I talked about that on a
Yeah.
different podcast. And I saw guys there training. People would come in from all over the country
Oh yeah.
and train there. Bob Benarski, Fred Lau, Rick Holbrook, all these big names came in there.
Yeah.
Eventually, Lee James and some of those guys. So York Barbell was an ideal location to run a camp. So
Sure.
Harvey said, Smitty is a great coach. He said, but as far as setting up things and logistically making sure everything was set. He wanted somebody to run the camp that he thought I'd be a good candidate for that
Mm.
because of my coaching background and a lot of other sports and pretty much taught myself how to lift, but
Yeah.
good technician, that sort of thing. So he asked me if I would do that. And it was ideal because at the time, York Barbell had a great gym
Mm-hmm.
of course, they had all the weights there and everything too. And the nearby facility for housing, because it was an overnight thing, of course,
Mm-hmm.
was at York College. So they
Mm.
had meals there, they had the
Yeah.
housing there. We went back and forth with a van. Turned out really good. Some of the guys that are still around our sport started off in
As
those camps.
campers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so that's where it started, and it was a week long thing, and I think we came in on a Monday and finished up on a Saturday, that sort of thing.
Okay.
We were just kind of setting it up to see how things would work. So each year it got better and better,
Mm-hmm.
and it got more involved. And to be honest with you, when I first started it, I did it a little bit more like we saw, we saw these old Polish training videos where they
Mm.
did a lot of the conditioning stuff too,
Mm-hmm.
where of course now this is early 60s and they're carrying logs and they're running in the jumping over logs and
Yeah.
running through the snow and that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
but again, that was back in the day. So these camps were a little bit of conditioning as well as the weightlifting stuff. So, but as it evolved, it became all weightlifting. Okay, and so we kind of continued from there, and we had different locations over the years. We went from let's see, where did we go? We were at my high school for a couple of years, Francis Scott Key in Maryland, and we shipped them back and forth between a local hotel. We were at Morristown weightlifting in New Jersey.
Yep.
We went to some colleges, Millersville
That was,
University, like you
yep.
mentioned.
Yep.
Gettysburg College was a big one.
That was before.
And
Yeah.
back in the day, some of those places, they had no weightlifting facilities. York was excellent. That was a good start. My
Yeah.
high school was excellent. We had all kinds of facilities there. But when we started going to places like Millersville
Millersville, you had to set that
and
all up.
Gettysburg, we
Yeah.
literally had to bring in all of our stuff.
Yeah.
We had to
I
move
remember
stuff
that.
around, and we had brought in our own
Like a
platforms.
moving truck with all the platforms and weights
Oh my
on
God.
it. I remember
Sometimes we
that.
didn't have a moving truck.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just piled up little pickup trucks.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
forget Tim Garino, a buddy of mine at the time, and he was helping out, and he had a little pickup truck. It had so much weight in there. I'm telling you, the back bumper was literally dragging.
Oh
So this
gosh.
is the effort we put into making these things work.
Yeah.
And we ended up at Lake Placid Olympic Training Center. So we've kind of evolved over the years, and now, of course, we took plates and bars and everything else to a lot of these places. So Lake Placid was excellent. I mean,
Yeah.
everything was under one roof.
It
You
was,
had your rooms there, you had
yep.
the meals there, you had the training there. They
You were
were
in that
really,
environment.
what's that?
You were just in that environment, like living and breathing the air that Olympians and future
That was
Olympians were
ideal.
training in. It was
That was
those are my last camps that
that was
I, as an
ideal.
athlete and as a coach.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what we did too is not only was it training, but it was also an opportunity for bringing in senior, at the time, it was called the senior coach or the
Yeah.
regional coach, which now is equivalent of a level two and a level three.
Yeah, it had just shifted to level one, level two, level three when we were at the OTC.
Right, right.
Yeah, because I did my level two at one of our camps.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's the point I'm saying here is that what we did was we said, okay, the whole format was the lifters would come in on a Sunday and they would train all the way through till Saturday. And
Yep.
so they would come in and do a workout on Sunday evening, a triple workout on Monday, a double workout on Tuesday,
Yep.
triple on Wednesday, a double on Thursday, double on Friday, and
Yep.
then end up with a competition on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
A
training.
lot.
So we said, look, I want you to get your money's worth. We're going to squeeze as much good training in here as possible. And the funny part is that we would do a lot of training, but yet and heavy too. But we would almost do it kind of like a mini periodization where it'd be a good bit of volume and heavy, and then by Thursday and Friday we tapered down.
Yep.
So Saturday you would think
You
that they
actually
would still
felt
be tired,
no.
still
They're
hit a bunch of
PRs. People were
PRs.
hitting PRs. Like,
It
and
was
technical
amazing.
lifters were hitting PRs, not just
Yeah.
novice lifters. Yeah.
So what happened? So that happened with the lifters, but then what we would do with the senior coach and or regional coach candidates, we would say, okay, look, you're going to take the course here, and you're going to actually have hands-on experience in the training hall and hands-on experience running athletes in a competition.
Yeah.
Plus, we would do in between times. It was a lot of work for them. In
Yeah.
between times, while the athletes were resting, we were in lectures doing the physiology and the nutrition and the mental training, all those things that were a big part of that. So that was an ideal situation for
Yeah.
these upcoming coaches.
Oh,
So
it was amazing going
it
through
was
that.
amazing. And we have
Yeah.
several of our really good coaches still in the sport today,
Yeah.
started off doing that.
Almost everyone that I took my level two with is still actively involved in the sport in some capacity.
Yeah. And
Because
I think,
it was just such an intense experience.
yeah. And I think that's one of the things that it really takes more dedication and more passion for what you're doing to be able to spend a week of your year in a training environment like that when you could be vacationing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they looked at it, that's how that was their vacation. I
Yeah.
remember John Floyd, who still lifts for us. He's a lawyer and a really good lawyer. The guy works 80 hours a week. Okay. he would take his week's vacation to come at these training camps. And I
Yeah.
think he came to 5 or 6 of them, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So it was an ideal situation, and it was a lot of work.
Hmm.
But it was an ideal situation for the athletes as well as the coaches coming in. And when they were nearby, like for instance, when they were at Gettysburg College and when they were at my school, what we would do is we would kind of do a semi end of camp week
Yep.
with a little get together, a little barbecue at my house. We
Yeah.
have a big yard. We had volleyball. We had
Yeah.
horseshoes, throw around the football. We had some pretty good little get-togethers. Had to be careful not to do too much because they had to meet the next day.
Yep.
But just a little historical background here. You guys are aware that Sally McKenna, Mike McKenna,
Hmm.
that's where they actually met.
Hmm.
I can vision it now. I can see the picture of the group on my deck. We took a picture of that, and Mike is standing next to Sally. That's where that romance started.
At your
And
house.
here, I think I
Yeah.
saw a 20-year anniversary now or
Yeah. I
something like
think.
that. I
Yeah.
saw on Facebook.
Yeah.
Anyway, so just little stories like that. Just so
Yeah.
many things happened.
Yeah.
There was just so many good stories, so many good meals. I remember at Lake
Hmm.
Placid, that was a highlight to be able
Oh
to
yeah.
go
We
out
would
to
go out
dinner
to
on
one of the
Friday
restaurants.
evening.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, so
Yep.
we tried to make it as serious and disciplined a training as
Hmm.
possible, but we also tried to keep it as fun and enjoyable as possible because weightlifting is a sport and sports should be fun.
That's it.
So it was one of those things where, we just really enjoyed doing that. We did that for 32 years.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people aren't aware of that, you
No,
know?
it's, I mean, it's, yeah.
Okay. So again, we keep reminding all the new people out there, go back and look at some of the history, some of the things
Yeah.
that went on. Check out the old Strength and Health magazines. Check out the old Iron Mind issues, things
Mhm.
like that. There's a lot of history that you can learn from, and it's good to know these things.
Yeah.
So anyway, but what happened was then that the numbers at these, I mean, because we would have 20, 25
Hmm.
athletes there. I mean, it would
Hmm.
be a big deal. What we found, though, as the years passed, as it got a little bit more involved with weightlifting, as far as just so many other things going on,
Yeah, there's a
we
lot more
found that it
people
was
in the sport. Yep.
difficult for people to get away for a full week.
Yeah.
So I said, how about if we try devolving it down to a 3-day thing, like a
Hmm.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Hmm.
So what I started doing was we had a Friday evening workout.
Yep.
We would have a triple workout on Saturday and
Yep.
a double workout on Sunday.
Yeah.
So it would be 6 workouts in about 48 hours.
Yeah.
Still give them time they have most of the day Friday to get there. And then Sunday afternoon, they had time to get home. That's working really well.
Yeah.
What we're finding now, though, is that the triple workout it's just a little bit too much with not enough rest periods. So we've been going with one on Friday, just two on Saturday, and
Hmm.
then two on Sunday. But we
Hmm.
also throw in some lectures on mental
Hmm.
training and nutrition and things like that. So it's not just a training thing, but the
Yeah.
environment has been just excellent. And
Yeah.
it's one of those things where the more we do that, the more we find that the athletes really like them. We've done several with East Coast Gold at
Yep.
Virginia Beach.
The
We've
headquarters
done
there.
a
Yeah.
couple at the training facility at Westminster Strength and Conditioning in Maryland.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing one in Buffalo coming up pretty soon.
Yeah. In
I
New
just
York.
done a level 2 course there, and they really like the concept of doing a camp.
Yeah, it's
So
exciting.
these are the type of things that we're evolving into now, and I know some other organizations are trying to do some of those too. But like Cait said, we have the experience in the background to really make it worth your while. We try to individualize the training as much as
Oh yeah.
possible. And it's one of those things where we really find a lot of benefit in it,
Hmm.
and not just there, but what they take home after that, and
Yeah.
then continue their training. Because one weekend camp isn't going to necessarily, make
Right.
you an Olympic champion or anything, but
Right.
it's that next step, and I think that development and that process, I think is really important. Now, what we're trying to do, remember I said when we did the week-long camps that we would bring in the
Hmm.
senior coach and the regional coach courses. We're going to kind of get back to that now as far as Totten training is concerned,
Yeah.
where the camps are the 3-day camps are still going to be for athletes, but we're going to invite coaches to shadow. to come in, be part of the camp, not necessarily as an assistant coach, but just to learn. We had our last camp that we did, we had a coach come in from California,
Mm-hmm.
and all he did was observe.
Mm-hmm.
And he just took away so many things, and he had so many questions. And when you go back home, you take these things with you. So
Mm-hmm.
we're all about working with athletes, but we're also coaching coaches.
Yeah, I mean that's our mission, right, in Totten Training System, and I think that's always been interesting to see the differentiation with East Coast Gold, Totten Training System. Like East Coast Gold is a weightlifting team, Totten Training Systems is a coach's education business, and Leo lives in both worlds, right? I live in both worlds in a different way, and so I think that's where it gets confusing. So it's like really important to us at Totten Training Systems that we are always going to be doing this for athletes because that's the end goal of the sport, right? And we do that at Time Training Systems by developing more coaches, by developing coaches with better skills, stronger skills, more depth, more critical thinking, all of that. And, we're big believers in certifications because we run them and we know it's a great way for people to get in and get quality education. And something like this, as someone who has gone through this as both an athlete and on the coaching, like observing side of things at camp, it's so immersive that you just leave with so much. And I remember being an athlete at my first camp and the coaches that were there observing, even though they were just shadowing and observing, I'm still connected with some of them on like social media, follow their professional paths. Like as a new athlete at a camp, they were beneficial of just being in the room for me as an athlete, right? And now I've experienced that as a coach, and it was the confidence that I developed, even though I had been coaching for a few years, being immersed with my level two. I remember doing my level two at the OTC after we'd been hosting it for a few years. I'd been an athlete there for a few years with the camps, and then going on to do that level two with Leo. And several of my athletes traveled up, like they couldn't make the full camp, but they traveled up to come to the meet and they competed in that meet. And just to like have that confidence of having gone through that week of camp with Leo as a new coach and then running them through a meet from a different lens was phenomenal. I think a couple of them qualified for nationals at that meet. Like it was just really powerful. And that's what we're trying to create with this shifted model of offering, yes, come join us for our certifications. Yes, do all that stuff and get some of the tactical knowledge, but this is just like a whole nother level.
Well, and I think immersive is a really good word to use
Yeah.
because there's a lot of online things, and we do a lot of online things,
Yeah,
and it's
sure.
got a lot of benefit to that, and
Absolutely.
we still believe in that. But the more you can do to really get involved, the more you're
Hmm.
going to learn, the more you're going to remember, and those experiences are just going to make you more really into it. Okay, it's one thing to do things, go through an online test or a certification,
Yeah.
but it's another thing to really be involved, to talk to the athletes face
Hmm.
to face, and I think we've kind of gotten away from that a little bit,
Yeah.
as a in a general sense.
Sure.
So I think this is a really good way of getting everybody more involved because it's just a really valuable experience this way.
Yeah, I mean, think of the recent one you and I ran together at Westminster. Like some of the training sessions were great. People had some great breakthrough aha moments, but some of I think the most powerful things occurred at lunch and they occurred in the breaks in between the training sessions where people are sitting down and asking you and I questions. And it was kind of neat because the people that were there as athletes were also already coaches. So they're suddenly starting to ask us questions both as athletes and coaches.
Hmm.
And it's just that's where like the magic happens is in the in between, and that's the model that we're coming back to.
Well, and we'd like to share our experiences.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just because you've had an experience, you don't want to hide it. You don't want to say, "Hey,
Yeah.
that's my experience."
Right.
Share that experience. That networking, I think, is really important to kind of get the word out. This is why I think you should study the history, experience some of those things that those lifters have and coaches have done, and that's how you learn. I mean,
Yeah.
it's one thing to sit in a lecture hall and listen to somebody talk, but man, to actually be submersed in it and just that's how you learn.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
what we're
So
trying to do.
if this is intriguing to you, either as an athlete or as a coach, make sure you get on our newsletter on our website because we will be dropping everything there first. And we'll be announcing more details on this new model in the fall. So get on the newsletter now. We send it out monthly. We'll have all the details there. And anyone on the newsletter will really get kind of first crack at it. So I always encourage you to get on that wait list via the newsletter.
Well, and two, if you have a facility that you want to use as one of these camps, let us know. We'll schedule something, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the 3-day thing. Even as it turned out, the Westminster one
Yeah, we did a
we
1 day
did.
there.
It turned out to be a 2-day thing total rather than the three.
Right.
It was Saturday and Sunday. We
Oh, right,
found that it was
right.
difficult for some people to get there on Friday, so we
Yeah,
just made it a 2-day. We
yeah,
can do that as well.
right.
So, whatever it's 2 days is probably going to be better than just one, but three might be a little much. So we can do 2 or 3,
Yeah,
depending on what you want. The facility gets a percentage of the income. We like to share share the wealth too.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, so if you need somebody, if you need something set up at your place, let us know. But schedule ahead of time. I mean, it's a
yeah.
lot going
I
on.
mean, we're booking out into 2026 now.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
just let us know.
yeah, yeah. So just find us on tottentraining.com or email us at info@tottentraining.com.
Yep. Feel free to contact us. I think that's it's amazing how many times I've had somebody say, "I hate to bother you, but."
That's why we're here.
That's not a bother. I'm telling
Yeah,
you, this is why we do what we do,
yeah,
and we enjoy doing it. Certainly not a bother. So please don't hesitate to contact us anytime.
yeah. Awesome. All right, Leo, another
All
great
right, another
episode.
good one.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you,
thank you so
everyone.
much, Cait. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it, and thanks to everybody out there. Continue to learn, continue to grow. Keep that life balance now. Don't be
Mhm.
all really focused just on weightlifting now. Enjoy the rest of your life too, and that'll make weightlifting and all that training even better yet.
All right.